All right, guys, so in this video, we're working on a 2009 DVX Wildcat 300. Wildcat DVX 300, that's what it is. This video has been in the making for years now. The bike just got put in the back of my garage for a long time, and so there's stuff I did do off camera, like changing the output shaft bearing, putting the transmission in, a few things like that. So you'll see originally from the shop, was built in 2022, and there was no spray foam, nothing in here, bare. It was cold, it was wintertime. It's May 21st, 2025. So this video's been going on for a long time. I just finally got time to finish it up. I appreciate it, guys. So you're gonna hear stuff talking about different things that were way years in the past now. So this video is beginning to be filmed in November. Yeah, I think I built the shop in November 2022. So I probably did it beginning of 2023. Started it all out. So there's stuff in there I didn't get filmed because the video was so far, the videos are taken so far apart, the clips and stuff like that. So guys, I hope you enjoy it. It went from rags to pretty much riches the way it looks. Love the way it turned out at the end. And now I'm gonna put it up for sale and see if somebody would like to have it. I mean, it runs great, but my wife doesn't like that World War II pinup girl on there. But hey, it is what it is, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel again. I am Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. Check this out, man. I got a doozy. We got a 2009 Wildcat DVX 300. The question is, can I save it from the scrapyard? Actually, a buddy of mine had bought this at an auction for almost nothing, is what he told me, and then he looked into it. The transmission was messed up. And decided, hey man, you want to buy it? You want to try to fix it over the winter time for a project? As you can tell, it's cold in here right now. You can see my breath. I said, sure, what the heck? So gave him 300 bucks for it. Why not? So on this thing, man, guys, we're going to go through it. We're going to go ahead and check out the transmission. I already have ordered the shaft or it's broken, the gear that's broken. That is here. So we're gonna go ahead and check over this thing, see what it needs. I have a decal kit for it also. I ordered off of Amazon for like 75 bucks. We don't know if the motor runs or not. We know it does turn over and makes compression. I can't remember if he said it has spark or not, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and tackle that transmission first, and I'll show you guys what broke on that, and we'll go ahead and stick that new gear in there, put it back together, and then we'll go ahead and get to the motor and see if we can't figure out if this thing's got spark, it's gonna fire up and run or not. Let's hope it doesn't smoke. If it does, we'll just have to put a new top end in it. Pretty cool little machine here. It's an automatic forward and reverse 300 cc Wildcat DVX, man. So gonna fix it up. We'll see what we can find out, what's going on with it, and we're probably gonna end up selling it this summer. I don't think I'm gonna keep this one. I may or may not. The wife talked about wanting a four-wheeler since I did that little TRX 90 for my kids on that Christmas video that is now up. And we'll see what happens. So let's go on and jump in this thing and see what's going on with this transmission. One more thing, guys, before we go ahead and jump into that. 95.6% of you guys that check out my content are not subscribed to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could hit that like, subscribe, and that notification button down there. I know it's early in the video, but man, I am trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I've been doing this about probably close to a year and a half now, and I haven't been able to post steady because I do work in Moto America road racing with the Warhorse HSBK New York Ducati race team. So I do travel quite a bit during the summer, and I've been traveling quite a bit during the winter time to help a friend of ours build mini jet boats up in northern Idaho. But man, if you guys would smash that sub button, man, I'd really appreciate it. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything at all. It really helps out the channel. It helps us guys and gals, you know, make new content. And it doesn't cost you a dime. It's the best way to support a friend, and we all appreciate it. All right, so let's take a little walk around this thing really quick. You can see it's been setting for a while. It's got a little bit of mildew built up on the plastic. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll probably go ahead and power wash all these decals off because we have a graphics kit for it. I do have things in a cart right now through Partzilla I want to order, like these pieces here are all faded out. I got brake pads, handlebars, ignitions, all types of stuff for this thing. The tires aren't in too bad a shape. They do have a slow leak, but the wheel bearings feel good on it. The motor's actually pretty clean. We have all the parts to fix this thing, like I said before. There's a couple tires that have slow leaks. Rear end feels pretty good. I know we're gonna have to order chain and sprockets for it, which is something I like to do on, if I can get through here between this quad and my lift. It's like I do that for everything. You can see the rear brake pads are completely gone, so we'll get a set of rear brake pads for it, front brake pads for it, chain and sprocket. Of course, we'll try to ride it initially first with this stuff just to see, you know, if this motor is going to work or not. You can see some of the harness hanging down here. This is from the stator. Of course, this is your pickup coil, and then your 3 wires will run your stator for your charging system, which plug into here, which runs back to your rectifier and all that. And then, like I said, you guys see the motor's pretty clean. The bike's not bad. We'll have a little knob on order and all that. But again, we're gonna make sure this thing fires up and runs before we put all that stuff in order and get it coming. Nice little quad. I'm kind of excited for this one. Should be a good time. Of course, grips and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead. You guys can see I got this side of this transmission open already. My buddy took all that apart. Now, like I said, I've cleaned it out. We'll clean it out one more time. I'll throw some good light over here. It's not very good lighting on this side. And we'll jump into getting this transmission slapped back together on this 2009 Wildcat DVX 300. Let's go run through these parts real quick. We do have the heat shield for the exhaust. Here's a sticker kit that I got, graphics kit. I think it was like 75 bucks. It's like a little American flag with the, I forget the exact name of it, the lady riding the bomb. I think it's gonna look really trick on that thing after we get it all cleaned up and running and put that sticker kit on it and save those plastics a little bit. I need some nice, what do you call it, button head bolts, but we're all good there. We got the air box. Let's see what we can find in here, see if that air cleaner looks any good or not. I don't remember what it looks like. It's missing a couple clips. Air cleaner doesn't look too bad. There's a front sprocket in here. I haven't done a single thing with this, guys. Front sprocket, you can see it's shot, so we definitely need to order a chain of sprockets. But like I said, we'll make sure this thing runs first. We'll have to patch up that hole in the air box. We'll probably do that inside and then plastic weld that, put some duct tape inside there. There's a transmission drain bolt, all the bolts for the transmission, it looks like. All down in here. It's hard to see. I apologize about that. Let's bring this light over here. So they got that. Air cleaner doesn't look horrible, so that's a positive there. Flip this thing back around, get that out of the way. Intake charge tube, sprocket cover, knuckle. We are gonna have to order, oh yeah, I need to order a seal, and I need to order the circlip for that, because when they took it apart, they didn't realize that it had a circlip behind the seal, and they were having issues getting that out. Also, the lock nut for the, or the lock washer for the front sprocket. And we got the knuckle for the shifting. We got the sprocket cover. We got the carburetor. We'll probably take that apart and make sure it's all clean and make sure we don't have anything leaking. Maybe just buy a rebuild kit for it. And then we have the transmission, which you guys need to see that needs to be cleaned up. So we'll run that to my parts washer. We'll clean up all that crap out of it, nice and neat, and see what we can do there. So let's bring the light down here. We'll throw all this other junk back in the box real quick. We don't need any of that. That circlip can go away. I don't care about that. So you guys can see, go ahead and pull this transmission out here. Pull that washer out, and this main gear will come out like this. It all looks really good. No nicks or scrapes. Nothing really messed up on that. On this guy here, we are, like I said, I already ran through this transmission once, just kind of make sure I didn't need to order anything else. So that thing looks nice. We'll go ahead and pull out the shift shaft here and the shift drum. Shift drum is in good shape. No issues on that. Pull out the shift shaft, or I shouldn't say shift fork and all that. Shift fork looks nice and clean, barely any wear on that at all. I think these things are notorious for breaking this output shaft gear. So we'll go ahead and pull up the forward and reverse gears. But here's what the problem was when they went to take this out. We'll pull out, now this is the shaft that shifts for your, but that'll line up with this little dot. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little dot there, and that will line up with your shift drum here. There's 3 dots on your shift, or 2 dots on your shift drum. Might be kind of hard to see. I'm trying to get a good focus, but 2 dots on your shift drum, 1 dot on that, and those guys will, that dot will line up between those two, so you know you're in the exact position. But when they were taking this apart, they didn't realize behind that seal was a circlip that went around output shaft here. So they bent that circlip all up trying to get that output shaft out. So we got to get that new seal there. So, but I'll show you what happened here. You can see it broke off a lot of the teeth. Now he was bored and said, you know what, I'll try to weld them back on just to show somebody I can. Why Alan wouldn't do that, I don't know. But anyways, you guys can see all those broke off. Kind of a common issue. So I ordered one of these. Kimco uses the same thing. So I ordered it, and it came from somewhere across seas because I didn't want to pay. They wanted like $200 something from the OEM to get this, and I think I got it from this other manufacturer, which is the same part for like $80 something. So I couldn't beat that. So I got to take all this stuff over my parts washer. I'll hook it up. We'll wash all this stuff off really good, rinse it out, and then I'll show you guys the new output shaft gear. All right, so here's that new output shaft gear I was going to show you guys. So you can see it's the same thing as this. Same width, everything's the same splines on the end, all that good stuff. So all we got to do is replace this, put that new circlip on the back, a new seal in it, and then reassemble this. Well, we can reassemble the transmission, and we can do that stuff after the fact, which is not a big deal. So we'll go ahead and clean this stuff all up, lube this up, and start reassembling this transmission on this 09 DVX 300. All right, so we have all the transmission parts cleaned up, all blown off and everything like that. So I was doing a little bit of looking around, and I remember that they had that snap ring locked on this back here, and that they were yanking on it and had bent it. So I decided to check the bearing here on the output shaft. You can see it just click, 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 click. It's really, really rough. I mean, it doesn't even spin smoothly at all. So I had to turn around and order a new output shaft bearing. And also on the reverse gear, I was looking, it might be a little hard to see here at the light, but the teeth, they're not horrible, but I figured since I'm here, I might as well go ahead and order that, and that's on back order. So transmission stuff is going to be on hold for a little bit, guys, unfortunately. Nothing I could do about it. Even though I did get this piece, I did order that, the bearing, and a few other things that are not going to be available till middle of January. And there's one piece for the bodywork. This piece up here, I think it's this left side piece here, is not going to be available till June, which we'll see what happens with that. But I remember I was looking at some, going over some of the video I had recorded about this thing earlier. This graphics kit actually was $170, not $75. I was looking at one for a Warrior also, it was 75 bucks. This one was $169.99 on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description for that. And I can leave links for all the bearings and stuff like that. A lot of stuff is getting hard to track down. Now, Kimco in this are the same thing. So this is actually a Kimco part here. So I went on Kimco's website, and everything is a lot cheaper on Kimco, but unfortunately they have nothing in stock, so they won't even let me do an order. But so what we're gonna do, we're gonna move along. We're gonna go ahead and do a compression check on this thing. I mean, I've already done it, but I'm gonna do it again on camera. I've had to modify the adapter. It just doesn't fit in here right. It's just a little too big. So I had to go on and just kind of grind down the hexes on that. I had to originally do that when I was doing that, what was that, the 2010 CRF 250R build. I had to do that to this one. So we're gonna go ahead, throw the compression gauge in here. Got my battery charger hooked up to it, to the battery. No ignition, so I'm gonna have to jump the solenoid back here to get this thing to turn over, and let's see how many pounds of compression we have. And after that, we'll put it on TDC and we'll do a leak down. All right, so the compression tester I have is from Cornwall. I've had it for quite a few years. Part number is KA-2506. When you do this, remember to use the one that has the, they call it Schrader valve or valve core in there. We'll put this adapter on, and we'll go ahead and tighten it down to this hole here. Grab our compression gauge. Let's hook that bad boy up. And we'll set it maybe down over here. That should work for you guys to be able to see that. And then we'll go ahead and hook the battery charger up, or box up, put on 100 cold cranking amps, and turn this thing over, see how much compression we have. All right, so there's no carburetor on it either, so I don't have to hold the throttle wide open. So you guys see that? We're at 0 compression right now. I'm gonna go ahead and jump the starter solenoid here. Well, that's definitely not good. A whopping 50 pounds of compression. That's not good at all. Let me see how much it was supposed to have. I think according to the manual, it's supposed to have 200 and something. Let me pull that up on my computer real quick, and I'll let you guys know. We'll test it. All right, guys, I'm gonna go over a few specs here real quick. That way you guys have these specs here. I'm getting it off my manual here on my computer. So basically, engine oil capacity is going to be 1.7 US quarts or 1.6 liters. Transmission capacity on an overhaul like we're doing takes 400 milliliters or 13.5 fluid ounces. Let's see, or just changing it takes 300 milliliters and 10.1 fluid ounces, either or. It recommends gasoline 87 octane unleaded. Let's see what else. Cooling system holds 0.776 liters or 0.81 US quarts. .4 brake fluid. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see, the dry weight's 477 pounds. We don't care about that. Brakes, hydraulic, tire sizes. You guys can see that. Fuel tank capacity is 3.43 US gallons. Reserve is 1.2 gallons. Engine oil capacity, I've already went over that. Transmission, let's see, cooling system, rear drive capacity, that's on the sports utility. So there you go on that. So I'm going to scroll down through here a little more and get us the compression, what it should be compression wise. And I know the valve clearances are 0.1 millimeters, which actually equals out to 0.0039 almost 4 thousandths clearance on the intake and exhaust. So 0.4, or I shouldn't say 0.4, but 4 thousandths, which is 0.004 on your feeler gauges, so you guys can check your valve clearances on that, which what we're probably gonna do if the thing has low compression, we'll put a couple drips of oil in the cylinder and we'll recheck compression, and after we find out what it's supposed to be, and then we'll probably jump in to check the valves and see if those are held open. All right, so I got it here, guys. It says that, you know, the motor should be warm when doing this, but can't warm the motor up, that's for sure. But it says while holding throttle lever wide open, which we all know how to do that already. We knew that. Of course, this doesn't have a carburetor, so we're not worried about that. We're gonna crank it about 5 to 10 times on compression stroke to see what we get. And then it should be within 200 to 215, I'm sorry, 210 to 230. 210 to 230 PSI on the DVX. On the utility 250, it's 200 to 215. But on the DVX that we're working on, DVX 300 here, it is 210 to 230 PSI. And then it wants us, after we do that, perform that, it wants us to pour in 1 fluid ounce of oil in the spark plug hole and try it again to see if it goes up. That way it'll give us an idea if the rings are sealing or not sealing. So we're gonna do all that real quick, and then we'll see what the compression is, and then we'll do a leak down and see if we get it through the rings or if we're getting it through the valves. All right, so I just put in a little bit of oil here. I'm gonna actually add a little bit more because I know I'm not at an ounce yet, so let's just add about like that. Doesn't matter what happens to it. We're gonna go ahead and throw this back in there real quick, and then we'll crank this bad boy over and see if we get any new compression, which we should get a boost in compression, I'm hoping. I mean, once again, that'll just kind of show that the rings are bad in general. Could be a valve stuck open. We don't know yet till we do a leak down. All right, so I'm gonna put you guys back down here on that guy. Everything seems a little quirky today. Anyways, kick that back up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cross this up, see what we get now. Well, we jumped up a whopping 10 pounds. Watch so, I mean, it shouldn't drop because we have a Schrader valve in there. So what we're gonna do next here, we're gonna go ahead and take the bodywork off this thing, pull the tank off, pull the valve cover and see what we got going on the inside. All right, so I got a little help myself. We're gonna do the leak down test real quick. We're gonna make sure we put it on top dead center. Get this bad boy out here so we can see the timing marks. And then go ahead and take this cover off. She might be a little tough. There we go. Popped her right loose. O-ring. There we go. And then we got this piece off the clutch. We gotta make sure that goes back in properly. And then we'll go ahead and I think it's gonna be a 19 millimeter on that. Let me grab a rag here to catch an oil. All right, actually, I got a 19 millimeter on here. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn this over until I see the marks on top here. That is a fire mark. This doesn't, that should be our TDC, yep, fire. Gotta get this over to the Snap-on guy to get it fixed. I broke that little lever off my handle. Put this thing back on. What would be top dead center. Sorry if I'm blocking your guys' view again. Should be it right there. Got a nice full socket of oil though. All right, anyways, so I'm gonna walk around this other side and we'll check to make sure we're on TDC here. Grab a flashlight, shine it down in there. And yeah, we're on TDC. It's hard for you guys to see, but once again, you guys look here. We'll try, you can see we're lined up with our mark on the case in there. So now we're gonna go over here and see if leak down test wise, what we get out of it. All right guys, remember to leak down test, take your valve core out or your Schrader valve out. We'll put that adapter back on. Got a little bit of an air leak in my hose over here, but that's all right. And then we'll screw this bad boy back in here. If I can get it to go back in. There we go. All right. Let me turn my that should be getting, I think that's getting no air in there right now. So bring it around here. All right, so now get her locked in. I'm gonna go ahead and start cranking up the pressure. I can hear that right out of the intake valves. It sounds like both set of valves are going here. So let's walk over to the other side. We'll slowly turn it over and see if we can't get this thing to stop making some noise. Could definitely hear it coming out of the exhaust, but definitely hear it out of the intake. I don't feel it in the crank, so let's go ahead and roll this bad boy over here and see if we get a little bit of quiet. Intake. I mean, there's no resistance there at all. That's TDC again. And that's back out the intake on top dead center. All right, turn over again. So there's almost zero resistance on that. So what I'm gonna do now, we're gonna go ahead, like I said, we're gonna take all the body work off, pull the valve cover off this thing and see what's going on with the valves. All right, so I don't have my mic on right now. I'm just using the mic off the GoPro. But so this is what I found, and I've seen this earlier, but I didn't realize it. They have this self-tapping rubber screw, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a rivet. They riveted the battery cables to the battery. I mean, is it that hard to find a battery nut? I don't think so. All right, got all the stuff off. Probably have to tap the valve cover here real quick. So you guys can see this is, it says right on top, Chemco. So, yeah. But anyways, we're gonna get in here to the valve train. We'll take a look at the timing and everything. Give me one moment here. Let's get this thing set up perfect on timing, which is gonna be right about here. Like I was saying, before my battery just went dead, you saw it was Chemco, exhaust valve or intake valve was very tight, but it's a Chemco motor. I went to their website, like I said before, and then they had no parts available for it. So anyways, as of right now on top dead center, we're gonna get in here and look. We're right before the compression relief valve here. So we're right up against that. So we got a little bit of play in the compression. Like I said, both of these are compression in the exhaust valve. A little tiny bit up and down, but the intake is tight as tight can get. So I'm gonna go ahead and just rotate the motor one more time just to watch a full revolution of what's going on up top here. There goes the exhaust valve, intake valve, and now we're gonna go ahead and come back up to top dead center compression stroke. Right there. So there we are on that, and this thing is definitely priming oil pretty good. So we'll check again. That seems about right, but again, this is super tight. So what we're gonna do, I have a tappet adjuster set. You guys probably seen it in my past videos. Picked it up on Amazon, 40 bucks. If I can get it all off the magnetic tray here. That's all this stuff. It comes in a 9 millimeter. You got the big square, the flathead, the small square. Comes in a 8, 9, and 10 millimeter size nuts. And then what I use for my valve lash gauges, I got this nice little set quite a while ago. Of course, you guys seen these in my other videos too. I'll leave links down in the description for these tools. You can get this off of Amazon also, but I got mine from Parts Unlimited quite a few years ago. It goes through 2 thousandths through 15 thou. So again, like I said before, these are supposed to be set at 5 thousandths. So the intake valve is crazy tight. The cam chain feels good on the tension there. So let's grab we're just gonna go ahead and grab a 5 thousandths since there's nothing else. No point in checking, so we're not doing shim under buckets or anything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the exhaust. I'm gonna check that real quick. That's it, showing 5, good there. Let's go to 6. I'm gonna run this up until I find out what it is. 6. And 6 thou, that was at 6 thou, so that's not too bad. That one was just barely out, but there's zero clearance in the intake. So let's go ahead. So we know it's, both of them need to be adjusted regardless. And then once we do that, we'll put it back together, put the valve cover back on, and we'll go ahead and throw a jumper to it, and we'll jump it over and see what kind of compression we get. So that looks like it's probably gonna be the 8 millimeter or 9. I mean, it is a Chemco, so it might be the 10. Well, it looks awful. Okay, that's the 9. That is on the 9 millimeter one, and it is going to be the small square. If I can find it in the 3 here. Like I said, it's got a small square going here. So we'll go ahead and put this here, put this tappet adjuster there, and we'll break this guy loose. And then we'll go ahead and back off this tap it here quite a bit. Double check it for play. Plenty of play. Go ahead and slide your valve lash gauge in. Go ahead and tighten it up. If it gets too snug, we'll back it off just a hair, and then we'll tighten this all down again. So that's good there. We'll check the clearance here. Let's go ahead and take a 6 thou, because I want to set it 5 thousandths like it says, so we'll grab a 6 thousandths and check it to make sure. Yep, nope, 6 thou don't fit. So we're good on that one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and jump over here to the exhaust side. It's a thou off, which is not bad, but we're here. We're just gonna set them both at 5 thousandths like the book says. That way we don't run into issues down the road. Tighten that guy up there. We'll hold the tappet adjuster. Spin, tighten that down nice. Feels pretty good there. We'll go ahead and stick a 6 thou, see if it fits. And it does not. Actually, yeah, it does just a smidge. So let's go ahead. I had to force it a little bit, but it went. So let's go ahead and readjust this one more time. All right, there's that. Try a 6 thou again. And I get it still fit. So we don't always get it perfect on the first couple tries. It got lucky on the first one, but for some reason this guy here doesn't want to adjust right. Tappet looks good from what I could tell. So we're gonna go ahead and there we go. That's a little bit tighter there. I don't think 6 thou is gonna fit because 5 was dragging pretty good. 6 thou does not fit. Let's go our 5 thousandths again just to double check. And 5 thousandths, if I don't drop it, is a little bit tight, but it slides in and out. So we're good there. So we're at 5 thousandths, 6 thousandths. So I'll go ahead and put the valve cover back on it, tighten it down, that way we get no oil. Put the side pieces back on, and then we'll go ahead and do another compression check. All right, guys, so we got everything hooked back up. We're on a 100 amp start. I hope I don't ground anything out here trying to do this, but I gotta figure out a way to grab my starter solenoid and jump across this while I'm doing it. Here we go. So what are we at? We are at 160 pounds. Honestly, that's pretty good for what this is. I wasn't expecting to get that high. Like I said, this thing's been setting for a long time too. So let's go ahead. There is a little bit of oil in there. So we'll drop that back down and we'll do it again just to verify. So 165. It says 210 or 2 something to 230, but we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't jump the, we're gonna see if the carburetor's clean first. I'm not sure if it is. Jump the ignition switch and see if we can't get some spark on this thing and get this thing to fire offset. All right, let me show you the hokey setup I got going on right now. The brake light switch, the brake switch, safety switch is bad. So, are we dirty here? Yeah, we're a little bit dirty. Anyways, so jumped out of the alligator clip, took the ignition apart, decided, you know what, I'll just drill it out, got it to go. I have the shift shaft in there for which I believe would be the neutral light and stuff, but I can't get it to show a neutral light. But when I do turn the ignition, I can get the water temp sensor to pop on. You can see the brake light works. And now we're gonna go ahead and bump this up a little bit to 100 amp start. You can hear the relay click, but that's everything I had to do to get this thing to turn over. again. So now we got to see if we have some spark. Let me bring you guys up here. Off, on, override. Turn that light switch off. Do we have spark? Unfortunately, no spark. No spark at all. So that's a bummer. So I'm gonna check the pickup coil over here. I know the connections aren't very good because somebody had broke the plug off of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what the manual says, and we'll check the ohms on the pickup coil on the stator. So we're gonna go ahead and check the magneto coil resistance. The trigger should be 105 to 110 ohms on volts DC or on ohms. So we're gonna go ahead and put it to multimeter to ohms. We'll set this guy up over here in the corner, and then we'll go ahead and check between these two. Hopefully you guys can see what's going on. And bam. If I can get it on there right. There's that one and this one, I think. Pain in my tuchus here. There is that one and this one. 129.3, and it wants to read 105 through 110. 129.3 is not bad. I don't think it's too far out of spec. Check again. 129.3. I don't think that's too far out of spec. So it also has the peak voltage on the trigger, which should be 1.1 volts DC through 1.4 volts DC. So we can definitely check that too. That's gonna be a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna have to grab a couple pins, put them in the back, probably have to back probe it, and then hook these up to it, and then turn it over myself. So let's go ahead. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our peak voltage adapter here, pull out our old, we're gonna plug that guy in here, turn on volts DC, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our probes into my lovely little makeshift deals out of safety pins, but that works for me. If I can get everything uncrossed here. So there's this one and this guy. I need to find a nice set of back probes for my multimeter. All right, so there's that. We know the battery charger's on. Peak voltage should be, again, 1.1 to 1.4 volts DC. So let's see if we get anything. And we have absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna switch directions here. We're gonna go with that guy. And then this one. Let's see if we get any voltage that way. And again, absolutely nothing. So what's gonna sound like we're gonna need to replace the pickup coil for the stator on that, so we do get spark. I have found that separate, but I think I can get the whole stator and everything also pretty cheap. I will buy an aftermarket one because finding parts of this thing is crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and get that ordered up, and we'll get that installed, and then we'll continue on with this, I guess, trying to figure out what is going on with this DVX 300. All right, so we got our new stator and pickup coil in, so we're gonna go ahead and drain the coolant here real quick. That's actually gonna be probably a 5/16, not an 8mm. Grab my gun. Coolant's actually not too bad looking. You guys can see that decent color. But we'll go ahead and add new, since we're gonna put new oil in this, put new coolant in it, new brake fluid, and then we'll go ahead and attack the of course, transmission fluid and all that. And we'll do the brakes as we're doing all that. I actually did have a chain in stock for it, so I was kind of happy about that. The reason I'm taking this off and draining it, so we've got easier access to the stator here and getting the stator and pickup coil on there. So we'll go ahead and just drain this out, loosen these guys up here, which is as you go in on this type of clamp, it actually loosens up, squeezes it together for you. Grab the hose, tool, get that all broke loose around there. Probably this, you know, this has never been off since 2009, so there's that one. Let's do the second one here. This one comes out of the cylinder back into the water pump. First one came out of the radiator and into, or I should say back into the radiator. Whatever direction this thing flows, I can't remember. Get this one up and out of the way. You guys probably see there wasn't very much fluid coming out of that cylinder, so probably the radiator probably wasn't very full either. Let's go on and put this back in. And we'll put this up here, get it up out of the way also. So I want to run around and we'll pull out all the bolts. It's actually pretty impressive how tight that is. Let's try a new battery, see if that helps. There we go. Other battery might be getting a little low. Like I said, we already did drain the oil, but we probably should put an oil pan back underneath here just in case we do, so we don't mix our coolant and oil. Have to get the extension for that one. Man, that's crazy how tight some of this stuff is for such a small size bolt. Wow. All right, let's get this coolant pan out of the way. Let's grab our oil pan back up. And when I drained the oil, there wasn't any silver or gold in it, which is a positive. So hopefully when we see, since we got that we don't have any issues with the motor. All right, I'm gonna pull all these bolts out, some off the side. We'll get this plate off here. I'm gonna set them all kind of the order they came out of. You can see some are long, some are short. So I don't wanna mess this order up. You guys should be able to tell by the length. Like when they go in that they don't fit right. But what I found out is that when I pull on the stator wires here, I actually start getting continuity. So we probably got some bad, we know we got some bad wiring there. So let's go ahead and try to make sure we got all the bolts out of that one. We are good. We're leaking just a little bit. Let's see if we can't just get it to come off here. There we go. Oh, we did not get that one bolt there all the way out. Missed that one. All right. Drain that out. All right, so we'll go ahead and take out these two Phillips heads, these two here, and go ahead and put our new stator and pickup coil in. And I'm gonna use just a little bit of sealant around this since I don't have a new gasket. And make sure that this passage here, somebody put sealant on that passage, but that passage definitely needs to be open from there to there, so we'll make sure that's clear. And we'll clean this thing up and we'll get it back together and check for spark and continuity. All right, well, so the aftermarket one I ordered, of course, guess what? Doesn't fit. So it's actually a little bit slimmer here, which is not really that big of a deal, but the problem lies in the pickup sensor. The distance between here and here on the pickup sensor where it bolts down, they're not the same. They're not the same distance. So unfortunately, I can't bolt it down to its proper location. So this one's gonna go back. We'll order from another company, I guess. Or I don't wanna really have to order the OEM one. They're kind of expensive for this guy, but that might just be what we have to do because that one doesn't fit. I'll do some more tests on this, but I know we have a short issue down here in the wiring. When I pull on it, we actually get continuity and all that stuff, so I don't want to have to reuse that. So I'm gonna go ahead and send that back, cover this up, and when I get the new stator again, we'll jump back into the video. All right, guys, so we got some stuff in for this DVX 300. We got the carburetor rebuild kit in from All Balls. Like I said, go to their website, get the number, and then go to Amazon. It's cheaper on Amazon, you get it faster, but the part number is 26-1077. I also got in the new reverse gear, that is in, but I think it's also missing a couple thrush washers that are not here. Got the new bearing put in here, got that snap ring, got the original oil seal. I got the snap rings in. I got the washer, the keeper for the front sprocket. Front and rear sprocket came in. Just finished rebuilding the carburetor on this thing. What else? I'm waiting on, well, apparently I thought I ordered a brake lever for it, but apparently not, so I'll have to order a front brake lever for that. But we got new rear brakes on it, front brakes. I need to find a master cylinder rebuild kit for this thing. Unfortunately, I'm trying to find light here. Unfortunately, I can't find one. I need to find a master cylinder for it too, and I really don't want to buy a new rear master cylinder for it. The front brake works the rear and the front, but it also has another set of pistons that's just for the rear foot brake. But anyways, got the carburetor rebuilt, just put a new battery terminal end on it, and put oil in it. So let's go on and see if we can fire this thing off. The transmission's not in it yet, because, oh yeah, I messed up. I found, it was cheaper on eBay, brand new, said it fit a DVX 250 and a 300. Well, guess what, it doesn't. This guy right here, the shoulder is too long. It's longer than this guy here, so it doesn't sit all the way down in there right. So instead of me trying to send this back across seas where I got it from, I think I'm just gonna put a shout out somewhere here locally in Southwest Missouri and find out if I know somebody has a lathe that can just take this down a little bit and add that snap ring groove in there for me. That way I don't have to worry about that. So everything else is the same except for the shoulder. So hopefully we can just do the same thing. We'll measure all this, make sure the diameters are all the same. Even though they said they were the same, damn it, they're not. So I'm gonna throw you guys back on a stand here in a second. I'm gonna add some coolant to this real quick, and then we're gonna see if we can get this thing to fire off. I still don't have a battery for it in there. We're just gonna do it off of the battery charger. We're on a 100 amp start and see if this thing fires up and runs. I know it does fire off because I sprayed a little brake clean in there one time without the carb, fired up, and there was a bunch of crap that came out of the tailpipe. So let's go on and get this thing fired up and see what we got going on. All right, I forgot, we also got a new ignition switch in, and I did get the stoppers for the seat. So there we go on that. Let's go on and turn this on Brake light is on. There we go. And we are on, off on run. I do smell gas. I don't see it leaking anywhere. I lied to you. I do. It's coming out of the overflow. So we're not going to start it. We're going to see what's going on with that, because that's a brand new needle and seat, brand new rebuild. So let's find out what's going on with that real quick. All right, guys. So I was just screwing around and it did fire off. So let's do it again. I was just tapping on the carburetor to make sure it stopped leaking. Just might have had something in there for a second. So. It is running with the choke on, so I may have to adjust the mixture screw a little bit. But that's all right. I don't mind having to do that. We're going to let it run with the choke on for a minute. It's coming out of I can feel the air coming out of the secondary, blowing back in. But it doesn't sound too bad. And then it just up and dies. So let's see what's going on here. See if we can get it started up again. The carburetor definitely is still leaking. So let's go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the carburetor back off, figure out what's going on with the carburetor that I just rebuilt. It's still pouring gas out everywhere. Could just have a bad seat, even though I did clean it with some mother's polish and a Q-tip. So we're gonna pull the carburetor back off and find out what's going on the inside of that thing. All right, guys, so we're back on this 09 Wildcat DVX 300. I finally got the output shaft for the transmission back from a guy. The one I bought, I had ordered it off of eBay, and it actually did not fit. The shoulder here was too long. So what I had done, he had turned it down for me and actually put the snap ring spot in there. You can see this is the old one. I forgot, I wasn't even thinking about it. So excited that I finally got it back that I actually put this thing kind of all back together. Got the transmission back together, new chain sprocket on it. We got new brakes, brakes are bled. I think I need to rebuild the rear master cylinder though. That's kind of crappy, but we got the 400 milliliters of oil in here. I just ran a 10W30. I couldn't find anything in the service manual, what transmission fluid to run. And then we got 10W30 in the crankcase. Coolant's been done. All the tires are holding air. Got a new carburetor on it, but it does start and fire up. Let me get over here. So you guys saw that in the last video. You hear the transmission doesn't sound bad at all. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure I got the brake on just in case it wants to jump forward a little bit. All right, so we got the brake on. We're gonna go ahead and put it in forward. You see how it jumps up like that? Like the idle's just a little high yet. Let's turn that down here. Now let's throw it in. There we go. We got forward. We got back to neutral. And we got reverse. Back to neutral. The lights work, all that good stuff. But I know there's a sound. I would rev it up and there's a sound coming from over here on the primary secondary clutch side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this apart real quick and see what we can find on the inside of this thing. I was gonna do a time lapse of these taking this apart, but I might as well just see what we find on the inside of this thing. It shouldn't take long to pull it apart. Hear what we find. So, like I said, I've been waiting a long time to get that transmission piece back. Unfortunately, the gentleman had some health issues, so he had to take a little time off, but we got it back. If I can get this off of there, holy smokes, that's on there. Couldn't even tell you if that thing's ever been off or how long it's been stuck on there. That's a really good question. There we go. All right, so let's take off this outer case just to see what we got. I have never taken one of these apart on this thing, so let's see what we got here. Let's tap a tap. Let's grab our dead blow. She's not wanting to come apart, so let's move on to this back piece. We'll eventually get this thing off. It's a 5, not a 4. Now on that transmission side, we got a new output shaft, reverse gear. It was missing a a thrust washer on the transmission shaft. A couple of the gears were messed up, so we just replaced all that stuff. And like I said, I got the output shaft off of eBay. It said it fit a 250 into 300. Now this is a DVX 300/300 Mongoose. Everything else was right, except for that shoulder was different. And so was that spot where that circlip went to, or C-clip. As you guys can see, boy, this stuff is stuck on there. So I'm gonna end up going through and fixing some of the plastics, and then we have a sticker kit for the thing. So we'll throw a sticker kit on this bad boy, and we'll get a look at that when we're finished up. So let's go ahead and take this outer cover off. Missing a screw down here, or a bolt, I should say. Put these back down in the order they come out, just in case we got some that are longer than the others, and I already see we have that one. All right, do we got anything else? Looks like we're good. Dowel pins are getting a little rusty, I can tell you that. There we go. All right, so we're into the primary case. Seal's still good. Just sounded like there was something going on in this primary clutch. So let's go ahead and fire it up. We'll keep it neutral and see what's going on. Yeah, clutch is a little loud, but you can see it sets there, does pretty good. So we might go ahead and blast this off, take it apart, and see what we have on the inside there. So we'll grab, looks like a 17. Let's check this out. Regular threads, spacer. All right, so it looks like the shoes are probably what's going on here. Let me throw, can't tell if those are threaded or not, to pull this whole thing out and take a look, but I think what we're hearing is just so old. Let me see if I got a bolt that, I'm not exactly sure how this, if it screws in or not. I might have to look in the service manual for that. Let's grab a flashlight. Oh, there's nothing there. So I guess we just pop that off like we would most primaries. Hopefully, don't fly apart too bad. We'll find out. All right, there we go. All right, anyways, and the spacer. That's the outside, it says outside on that. So let's see what's going on here. Get the belt off this thing. Chemco. So, I don't know, Mongoose, Articat, Chemco, I really don't know. So the shaft looks just kind of gross and nasty. We'll lube up the, I see there's bearings inside there, so maybe we can lube that up a little bit, lube this shaft up. That actually might be, ooh, that could possibly be the the bearing on the back side of this shaft here. So I don't know if you guys, let me take it off the stand, see if you can hear that. It's got a little play up and down, which is not good, especially after just going through this whole entire thing, checking it out. So that would really suck after putting that transmission back together, getting the whole thing back together, that we got to change that bearing out. So, but there's also bearings in the back side of that, down here, some needle bearings, and then a roller bearing at the other end. They look pretty good and lubed. So I'm afraid that sounds exactly like what it is. Oh, it's a shame. So, all right, well, I guess I'll have to look into pulling the transmission back apart and pulling that particular bearing out and getting a new one. So on to the next thing. Okay, so a little update on the DVX 300. This video has been in the works for a long time, probably a couple years now. It has been done running. There was some stuff I did not record. So we thought we had some sound in the output shaft, or the input shaft, I'm sorry, of the transmission bearing. It was a little loose. I did pull the transmission back apart of this thing, took it all out, put a new bearing in there. It still had the same sound. What it ended up being, the sound you hear is actually going to be off the primary clutch here. That is the sound we're hearing. Am I going to replace that? No. So what I'm going to do now, I do have a pretty cool sticker kit I've had for a long time, American flag stuff. I ordered this from Amazon a long time ago. Up here on my shelf, I have a brand new set of plastics. This thing was all together, and I let a friend borrow it, and it lasted about, I don't know, 30 minutes before I got a phone call back and said it got rolled over. So it tore all the bodywork back off. I had it all pretty nice and neat looking. So I have to jump in here. I'm gonna pull off all the bodywork. I'll put a new set. I'm probably gonna put another set of bars on it. I have another set of bars on my shelf over here. Probably put a different set of bars on there. You guys see it's got a new lever. I'll probably have to pull these grips off or re-glue them on the other set of bars. In order to do all that, I have to get the headlight out, of course, but I got to take the battery out, starter relay, starter solenoid, the ECU, and a few other things in here. It's not a hard job to do, and I need to re-weld this piece back here that got broke, or find another one of those. The plastic for this thing was like $300 for this main piece. Very hard to find, not easy to get, but I got it. So we're gonna pull this thing apart off camera, and I'll show you guys what it looks like with it off, and then I'll go ahead and install the new bodywork, and we'll work on the decal kit. Again, sorry about the video I missed on doing all the transmission stuff. I was trying to get it done. I was gonna sell this thing, but I decided not to. This thing, again, has a bunch of new parts on it. Chain sprockets, brakes, transmission stuff. I had to actually have a shaft that I bought cut and milled and made to fit this, as I could not find the proper one. And then I forget what else I had done to this thing. Tested a lot of stuff, new oils and all that. This thing actually runs phenomenal. It's a fun little quad to have. Besides that primary clutch making some noise, but I'm not gonna worry about that until it fails. It may be eventually up for sale, or it may just sit in my garage like all this other stuff does. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this bodywork off, and we'll get this other bodywork installed. Well, here's what it looks like all stripped down. So the bodywork was a little hard to take off. What I noticed when they crash is, if you look, that steering stem is bent back a little bit. Am I gonna fix that? No, not worried about that. This thing rides fine. This is a piece I will have to fix. Eventually, I probably just try to find a new one instead of buying another, or trying to weld that one because it's so small. But I'm gonna get to the point of pulling this one off the shelf up there, getting it back down on here. Now you can see the other bodywork is laying over here on the ground. Oh, this piece right here, all one solid piece. You got to pull all the fenders off of it and all the crap that goes with it. There is a piece that's no longer available. It goes over here on one of the sides. I have one new and the other one's no longer available, so I saved those. So I'm going to start to get to reassembling this thing. I will have to take that out that holds the starter solenoid and the relays, and get this thing back together. All right, so we got the body work on. The new body work is on. You can see the difference, what it looks like. It's nice. The only thing I still need to fix, I mean, granted, there are a few cracks in the bodywork, but I'm not spending a ton of money on this thing. It's this left rear fender stay, which I don't have. I have it, but I can find a set for 40 bucks. Do I want to buy it? Do I want to buy those? I don't know. You see it's broken down there. I have no idea if I want to buy it or not. But now that this thing is all together, my next step is going to be to put the sticker kit on it. So I'm gonna bring it out here. We'll take a quick walk around this thing, kind of get an idea of what it looks like. I'll start from front to back to see what this thing, I mean, let's clean this lens off too. That's looking a little crappy. But like I said, it's an 09 DVX, Wildcat DVX 300. Got an American flag kit on it. It's got new brakes, pads, new chain sprockets. The transmission's been rebuilt, new battery. Got new bodywork on it now. It's got all kinds of goodies on it, and I'm excited to see it once I clean it up and put that sticker kit on it. Well, there she is, everybody. I don't know how much longer it's been, probably a couple hours. This graphic kit is a pain in the butt, but it looks pretty darn good. It's the World War II pinup girl on this thing. It turned out pretty freaking nice. I mean, this is an 09 DVX. It brought this thing back to life. It definitely looks pretty darn good. I can't complain too much. Now, there are a few pieces that I did not use. I did have to cut down this here. It's stuck way out here like this. There are these pieces I had to reshape and move them up and cut off up here on both sides. I did not use the piece that goes from here all the way down to the front. It didn't fit at all. No matter what I tried to do to reshape it, heating it up, nothing did not work at all. So I didn't use that piece on both sides. Everything else I used, except one other thing. They have another one that's supposed to go over here. It's shaped just like this guy over here, and it doesn't fit here. But what I did, I made the pinup girl on this side fit. I heated it up and molded it and cut it along with where the shifter goes. And again, I bought this off of Amazon quite a few years back, and now the last thing I have to do is put a rear master cylinder on this thing, and I am finished with it. I'm not going to film that. This thing's been in the works for a while. The shop has been crazy busy, so I haven't worked on a lot of my own stuff. A couple downfalls on this is that this seat does have a hole in it, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about that. Got the new body work on. It's cleaned up. It looks good. Starts right up. Rear master cylinder is the next thing to be replaced. So I'm pretty happy with this darn thing. Originally bought it from a friend of mine who passed away on his mini bike. Somebody, drunk driver, ran him over here in Springfield, Missouri, probably about a year ago now. God rest Alan's soul. So I got this thing up and done. Let me show you the kit that I did use. Walk over here. This is what I got. I forget how much it was. It says it's for a DVX 04 to 09 graphics kit. It didn't really fit this thing very well. But again, I've had it for, when did I order this thing? What's it say? Thursday, December 22nd. I'm trying to look for a date on here, but I'm not really seeing it. Bill lading. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look. I know it was either a year and a half ago at least. It's been sitting on the shelf. So yes, it's done. Finally finished up. No more DVX. Like I said before, I'm throwing stuff away as we talk. It is done. So the 09 Wildcat DVX 300 DVX. It's a mongoose Chinese version. That's what they call them. If you look at some of the stuff on here, it has like a mongoose rear caliper. I think even some of the Chemco stuff may match this. Don't quote me on that, but I know there's the mongoose 300 250 match. So sorry I didn't film me doing the bearing and the transmission, taking all that part. I was just trying to get some things done. I remember doing that, and that's been a long time. But now It's done. Everything is done. Will I sell it? I don't know. I'm not a fan for the pinup girls. The pinup girl be around my kids, but I bought that kit intention to sell this thing. So I'll probably put it up for sale and see what I can get out of it, guys. Again, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for leaving a thumbs up. Appreciate the thumbs downs and the crappy comments. Those are always great. I appreciate it all. I'm just giving everybody a hard time. Again, I appreciate it, man. If you guys need to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. You can hit me up at limitlesspowersports78@gmail.com. I will make a new TikTok. I talked to a friend of mine, and because she has a manager and all this stuff, and she's like a big time TikToker, and she's like, look, she got kicked off the other day. Everybody's being hacked right now, apparently. So she said, best of luck. Just probably better off making a new one, even though I had like over 7,000 followers or something close to that. But again, hit that sub button, leave a comment. You need something, let me know. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and I'll catch you on my next upload.